Codyko is facing some serious allegations. If you've been on YouTube for anything over a year, you've likely heard his name. Codyko is a massive YouTuber, and I doubt I really need to go further into who he is. This video isn't talking about that. This video is talking about the allegations being raised against him. Another YouTuber named Tanamojo, not nearly as well liked as Codyko, has come forward with allegations of him having had sexual relations with her back when she was 17. Who is Tanamojo? Tanamojo is someone who, as I just said, doesn't necessarily have the best online reputation. She's done some less than savory things, said some less than savory things, but has a decent following. Even has a podcast called the Cancelled Podcast and is currently 26 years old. The allegations are that in 2016, when she would have been 17 and Cody would have been 25, they had sexual relations. How did this happen? A clip surfaced of her saying that the smallest pee-pee she has ever seen was that of Codyko, and that she was 17 when it happened. And apparently it happened in Florida, where the age of consent is 18. And I know, because the argument a lot of people are levying against it is, oh well, the age of consent in different countries changes, and well, she was almost an adult at the time, so it doesn't really matter, and blah blah blah. Of course, those are those who are talking about it, and yeah, that is the main meat of the situation. It's a very damning situation, but at the same time, a lot of people are being called predators every day. You can never really know who is truly a predator, and I really want to talk about what exactly is revolving around this situation, because there's a lot of things revolving around it on Tana's side. So first of all, a lot of people are saying she's doing this to ruin him, because they feel that she wants to try and ruin his reputation, bring down his credibility, make people dislike him because he's likely pissed her off in the past and she's trying to get back at him. Another thing people are saying is that she's doing this for clout, because she knows people are going to rally behind a potential victim, and she's going to get more followers, and more followers means more money, and you know how it goes. People are also saying that as I said before, the age of consent in different countries, and you never really know how it happened, and blah blah blah, and that, oh well, she could have been above the age of consent in the country it happened. Well, apparently it happened in Florida, and even though 17 is above the age of consent in certain countries, it doesn't make it right to have sexual relations with a minor. It doesn't. And some people are saying that she consented and that she agreed to have it happen, and that consent makes it right. A 5-year-old agreeing to have sexual relations with you does not make it right. It's still me. You're still a monster for exploiting them. Now, her statement alone is not the only thing being used as evidence to the fact as to what happened. Gabby Hanna, a friend of hers, corroborated her story years ago and effectively told the exact same story that she's telling, which is, it's one thing if it's hearsay, but these are two different stories years apart being told, and it's very, very, very worrying for Cody if these two are not just being very well coordinated and syncing their movements very well. Now, what do I think about all of this? I personally think that the approach she's taking is not one of a cloud chaser. I personally think that she's not trying to ruin him. I really don't think that. I don't think this is not the approach you take if you're trying to ruin somebody. Me personally, I don't think that. I've seen so many situations like this, like Judge Not Found and Dream, where people come with these allegations and play the victim. You can tell when someone is trying to play the victim. And me personally, I'll be honest, I didn't really take this seriously when I first heard about it. Not because I don't like her. I didn't know about her prior to this. I didn't know about her prior to this. And it's not because I knew about Cody prior to this. It's because anyone and everyone is being called a predator these days. It's as if the second you get a platform, you're being called a predator. And Dream and Judge Not Found are two cases that prove that not every instance of you being called a predator is actually with you being a predator. And so it's like, I tend to wave these things off when I first hear about them, not because I don't take them seriously, but because there's a very high chance it's a lie or it's a method to cloud chase. And so it doesn't coincide with the way the other women I talked about in the other situations. She doesn't sound like the other women who are trying to cloud chase or destroy the people they were talking about. She does not seem to be vengeful about it on top of that. And then another thing to talk about is the fact that he's been silent throughout this entire endeavor. He has not said a word on his own, which is very damning. It's very damning that he hasn't said anything about the situation. And because normally these are not allegations you ignore. You don't ignore predator allegations. You don't just ignore them. You don't ignore this is not just the regular trolling on the internet. You can't ignore this kind of thing. You have to talk about it. And apparently he's even trying to cover it up and deleting comments about it. Listen, if you're overage, if you're an adult, do not have sexual relations with a minor. I'm not saying he did anything. This is all alleged. I personally pray these are all false and somehow this is a huge conspiracy against codyko. But if they are, this is really bad for his public image. It's likely not going to destroy him. But what do you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.